A big welcome, and it's a sunny situation here in Goa, but one of the biggest days in the calendar of the church right here in the state of Goa. Where we are is right in front of the oldest and biggest cathedral in the whole of Asia, the Seh Cathedral, and that's the place where the exposition of one of the greatest saints of the Christian church, Saint Francis Xavier, the sacred relics of Saint Francis Xavier will be kept for veneration for the faithful who have come all over from India and abroad as well. I got with me Reverend Father Victor Ferrão. He belongs to the diocese in Goa, but he is a professor at one of Goa's biggest seminaries, the Rashol Seminary, and he has studied and researched a lot about this great saint, Saint Francis Xavier, who is called the Goinzo Sahib, or the Lord of Goa, and of course in some quarters is known as the patron saint of Goa as well. Father, welcome to DD India. Nice to have you with us. Tell us the relevance of Saint Francis Xavier in our times.
Saint Francis Xavier is quite relevant for all times, not only for our times. And we can see that he has been relevant to people before us, and he will continue to be relevant to everyone because his life has become timeless. Perhaps I would put him as man for his times, but he is a saint for our times. He was a man for his times because at that time, when there were conditions, both global and local, which he experienced, at that point of time, the discovery of new lands, new people. At that point of time, there was a big upheaval in the church, so-called Reformation. And within this period, Francis and the Jesuits come to birth. And as they grow in faith, Francis finds himself being sent to India, a newfound route that was to the Cape of Africa. And so in that sense, he was a man for his time. But I still see that he is man as a saint for our times because his life begin to speak to us, begin to tell us that we can also live this greatness.
Yeah, and Father, I mean, he came to Goa at the instance of Saint Ignatius of Loyola, and in a time when he told Saint Francis Xavier that what does it profit a man to gain the whole world but lose his soul? So that is quite relevant, I think, even in today's times.
Yes, in today's time, we are living in a world that has become more and more secular, more and more materialistic, more and more consumeristic, and in a globalized society, in a globalized economic systems, where the rich and the mighty have their way, this gospel message of Jesus Christ, which actually turned the life of Francis, is still relevant for all of us. We must know that our insatiable drive for wealth, for fame, can never be satisfied. And in fact, we must have this sense of enough. And that's where Francis is very relevant. We can have a sense of enough while looking at his life.
So you mean to say Saint Francis Xavier's teachings you can learn from it and know where to draw the line as far as humans' wants are concerned?
Yes, wants and the needs. In fact, wants can never be satisfied. Yes. It's the needs that will be satisfied. So if we can find this thin balance and fine line between what is my wants and what are our needs, we will follow Francis.
Father, this telecast is on DD India and surely going across the world as well to viewers. So wherever you are across the world watching DD India, we can show you that this is the Seh Cathedral. This is the biggest cathedral in the whole of Asia. And right across is the Basilica of Bon Jesus, from where the sacred relics of Saint Francis Xavier are being transported. Father, tell us the sheer importance about these two historical structures here, the Seh Cathedral and the Basilica of Bon Jesus.
The Seh Cathedral came first. In fact, it stands as a symbol of the church in Goa. It is the church of the bishop. That's why it's called Seh Cathedral, the chair. Cathedra means the chair. And in fact, it represents for us the whole of Goa and Christians of Goa. And so that is a very important church if you look at it from the church point of view. But Basilica of Bon Jesus is the final resting place of the sacred relics of Saint Francis Xavier. And for us Goans, even I never thought this is important. For me, that is more important. Emotionally, psychologically, theologically, that is important. Legally, in the church, that is important. But for my heart and the heart of every Goan, that space is more holier and more important, one that takes us more to God. I always grew up going to that church first. And therefore, I still feel as a priest, I think we have that place of prime importance.
Father, you can surely tell us, I mean, you grew up around these places, and many years back when you became a priest, how has your experience been as a priest and been as such an important person in the Catholic Church in Goa?
I am deeply inspired by the life of Francis. He has been never in his place. And very often I am told I am never in my place. I've been teaching in Bombay, teaching in Pune and various other places. I go for international and national seminars, and I am told personally, you are not at home. And in fact, Francis was never at home. If you look at Francis's life, he lived only altogether 8 months in Goa. And that too also broken in 4 visits. And therefore, if you look at him, he was busy doing God's will, doing God's work with the people. He lived with the poor. And in fact, I recently visited Manpad, where he, in down south, where he converted the Paravas. He stayed for 2 years in a small cave. Very amazing, the cave, a very small space. And there is a well. And after you get out of the cave, after 30 meters, the sea is there. And yet, in the well, the water is still sweet. And people think it's holy. And so I find a lot of inspiration in Francis to be a man in a hurry, to be able to be a man with passion for Jesus Christ, passion for the people, passion for poor. Francis is the man. Francis is the saint for me and for all.
Yeah, and Father, many of the faithful will finally see what they are longing for. After 10 long years, they will be seeing the silver casket wherein the sacred relics of the Saint Francis Xavier are kept, and today they'll be out for veneration for such a lot of faithful. They've come from all over, and in fact, although the veneration will start more than half an hour from now, there's a queue which runs into almost a kilometer already waiting for the veneration. People are waiting for that moment where they can touch the casket of St. Francis Xavier. So quickly tell us, Father, it's surely going to be a very fulfilling experience for the faithful and the pilgrims who have come from all over.
Yes, I understand the expectation, the kind of intensity people bring in as they come to venerate this great relics of St. Francis. And it comes once in 10 years. And therefore, in this perspective, I find, the East already tells us. I always say, the West gave us the man Francis, but the East made him Saint Francis.
Yes, I think on that note, we'll say thank you to Reverend Father Victor Ferrao, and remember what he said, the East gave us the man Francis, and the West made him Saint. The West made it man Francis, and of course the East made it Saint Francis. Thank you, Reverend Father, for being on DD India.
Thank you so much.
As we were just speaking about Xavier's missionary journey, he gets permission to land in Japan. On coming to Japan, Xavier is enchanted as well as confused. He does not know anything about Buddhism and Shintoism. There were many sects of Buddhism. He thinks that they worship God when we know that they are actually atheists. Xavier did not receive any warm welcome that he expected from the Japanese. Now, in order to reach out to these people, he immediately realizes that the tactics that he has employed in Goa and southern India will not work. So he presents himself as Bonze priest, who brings along with him gifts like silk, cloaks, books and curiosity of the West. Francis stayed 2 years in Japan. He tried learning Japanese, but was not very successful as he was in South India. He has some luck with conversion. He tried to influence the Buddhist monk and other people of repute. To them, he is an exotic man from the West. They line up to meet him, and he suddenly experiences some success, but not great. He understands that the then Japanese looked upon the people of China as regards their religion, culture, and philosophy. So he thought if he can convert China for Christ, Japan will follow. So he left Japan with a dream of entering China.
The Eucharistic celebration is about to be terminated. The bishop who is presiding over Bishop Aloysius is reading the last prayers. After this Eucharistic celebration is over, we will be taking out solemnly the sacred relics of Saint Francis Xavier in procession, and they will be brought to the cathedral. The cathedral church is one of the biggest churches in Asia, and it has the reputation of being so, and that's why his body is brought to the cathedral and it is exposed day and night there so that people may have access to the sacred relics of Saint Francis Xavier.
Well, the sun is getting hot over here by every single minute passing by, but the crowds are just increasing. Any minute now, we're going to have the sacred relics of Saint Francis Xavier pass by. And with all the pilgrims over here, I found someone very special among the crowd, Mr. Leslie, who's come all the way in from Toronto.
Thank you very much for allowing me to be. Thank you very much for allowing me to be here on this auspicious day to talk on Air India Radio. Yes, I am coming to Goa back after 30 years, only because to see the exposition. I've never seen the body before, so this is my only window of opportunity to see the body.
You've come to Goa after so many years. You've been born in British Africa and you now live in North America. How does it feel to come to Goa?
Well, Goa is different. It's very unique. Yes, I was born a Goan. You cannot lose your roots. So the draw to come back home is always there. I wish I'd been able to make more visits, but knowing that the exposition was going to happen this year, I said, now's the time to do it. I'm not getting any younger, I'm getting older, so here's the opportunity, and I really am relishing it. Yeah.
So I see there's a camera around your neck. Any good photographs this year?
Yes, a lot of photographs. This is something that I would like to document and talk about my visit to Goa, especially the historical heritage sites. Tremendous improvements on the exterior of all the churches and the cathedrals, but sadly, in 30 years, the interiors have not been touched. It desperately needs a refurbishing and an update, and I hope that the church and the government can put their heads together and do something about it.
Is this your first time to a religious festival, or are you a regular?
No, I've traveled the world, not that much, but I've been to Portugal, I've been to France, I've been to Italy, and I've been to some of the religious festivities there whenever it coincides, and I'm supposed to be there, you know. Yeah, but this is something else. Just looking at the crowds that are shaping up right now, this is unbelievable, you know. Considering the fact that the population of Goa is 1.5 million and they're anticipating 2 million tourists to come for this occasion, it's mind-boggling. Yeah.
Do you think you'll be here again in the next 10 years?
So I'm retired now, so, you know, I hope so. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Leslie. Thank you so much for joining us here on DD India.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, you can see that, as Leslie pointed out, that the crowds are still coming in. We have kilometer-long lines filling in the space over here. The devotees standing in the hot sun and waiting for the sacred relics of Saint Francis Xavier to be arriving shortly through this route. And well, the temperatures are not getting any less, is it, Leslie?
No.
Historical first. This coffee table book is beautifully illustrated with images and colors of our land and people. Thank you.
We have just finished the Eucharistic celebration, not officially, but some announcements are being done. But people are highly excited. They are waiting to see the sacred relics. There is a heavy rush. People from the Pendal have already come out and they are standing in a queue, always anxious to see the body of Saint Francis Xavier, the sacred relics, because they have come all the way. These people are not from Goa, but they have come from the different neighboring states to get a darshan, what we say in our Indian language, darshan, the vision of this great saint, because they are waiting that this saint would intercede for them, and interceding they would get the graces from God, the blessings from God. Especially they have come with so many of their petitions. They have come here with so many of their problems, and they know that once the man of God touches their hearts, they will be okay. They will go back excited. They will go back happy because they have seen the saint. They have touched the saint. They have had experience of this saint.
So once again on DD India, this is a big event happening in Goa, the exposition of the sacred relics of Saint Francis Xavier. We call him Goincho Sahib, or the Lord of Goa. And joining me on DD India is one of Goa's senior civil service officers. He's involved in almost every project that Goa hosts, be it films, be it sports, and be it a religious event. Elvis Gomes, welcome to DD India. And tell us, for a start, personally, usually have been attending expositions in the past and leading to this one. So how many have you attended, and what has been your experience?
From what I remember, I think this is almost the 4th exposition I've been attending. And this year is a difference because I have been directly involved in the organizing of this exposition, being a member of the exposition committee appointed by the Archbishop of Goa.
Elvis, how has been it preparing for such a large event? I mean, we are expecting more than 40 to 50 lakh devotees and faithful from all around the country, from abroad. So to actually get this act together, when did it all start, and how did you plan such an event, which looks to be a success already?
We have been working on this for the last 12 months. Practically every month we had a meeting, and culminating into frequent meetings in the last 2-3 months. And with every 10 years going by, you know, the challenges also increase, the surge of people also increase. As you said, its footfalls are likely to be in the range of 4 to 5 million people. And communications, technology has increased, more people are exposed to what this whole event is about, and that's the reason more people are expected this time.
How did you all manage publicizing this event all around the world? I mean, of course in India it's been publicized well, but what about outside India? Has it been publicized in a very big way?
Yeah, it's become all the more easier now with the technology that we have, and to the internet and the websites, and by and large now the people who have migrated from Goa also become the ambassadors of this event to all the nations of the world.
So do you think Goa is increasingly being a major hotspot for international events, right from the sports to films to events such as these?
Yes, it is, but this is an event with a difference. It's got its own connotations, and it's got a message behind the event like this. And the message is what Saint Francis spoke all about, and the message of peace, and finally the saying that what does it profit a man to gain the whole world but lose his soul. That's the relevance for today's times.
So you heard him, Elvis Gomes, signing off with one of the sayings from St. Francis Xavier, one of the teachings from Francis Xavier. Elvis, thank you for being on DD India and wish you big success in organizing this event.
Thank you. Thank you.
We can see the pilgrims flocking to see this great saint, St. Francis Xavier. The sacred relics is about to be brought down in procession to the Sikh Cathedral, and the people are anxiously waiting to have great darshan of this great saint, whom they believe as their protector, whom they believe who has strengthened them in this faith of Christianity. People from different parts of India, from northeast, from the southern part of India, have come here for the darshan of this great saint. This great saint has been the role model for our young people today towards the modernization that is running faster. The young people need to know the life of St. Francis Xavier. St. Francis Xavier, who has worked tirelessly for the glory of God, need to be imbibed in these young people, that whatever we do for the glory of God. St. Francis Xavier, who sacrificed, who had all sorts of pleasures of life, he sacrificed, left everything and followed Christ. He was fully involved in proclaiming the message, in proclaiming the gospel to the downtrodden, to the oppressed, to the children, to the families. He was very much concerned towards the people that he could be in service to them. He left all the lavish life, and he would accept the life, a very healthy life, a very down-to-earth life. And that is the great message for us today, to live a simple and ordinary life, but to imbibe the values what this saint had, to proclaim the good news and to be involved in evangelization.
All right, live on DD India, we have none other than Reverend Dr. Sukur Mendes. He's one of the big names in the church hierarchy in Goa. He's worked in Goa as well as studied abroad. Reverend Father, welcome to DD India. Tell us your experience of being associated as a member of the clergy in Goa, and in a very special way, the relevance of St. Francis Xavier to you personally as well.
Okay. I'm happy to be here on this occasion because for me, St. Francis Xavier has been a great saint in my life. I remember the first retreat that I did here with Father George Dissa, and he took us around the tomb, and there we literally cried with emotions because we never knew that we could be so close to the saint. And this experience I carried always in my life. And I shared this experience with so many youngsters. Whenever I conduct session for young people, I tell them to remember this special day in which Father George Saab would gather us around this tomb of St. Francis Xavier with lighted candles and sing hymns to God. Another experience of mine was when I was doing my research here in Goa, Father Savio, the rector of the Shrine Basilica, is my companion. So I asked him, Savio, can you give me a room here? I want to be working on my research paper. He said, I'll give you a special room very close to the mausoleum, to the tomb of St. Francis Xavier. And when I was there, I felt His Holiness entering into this room. And I had a problem with my voice. From that day onwards, my voice healed totally. It has been now like 15 or 16 years ago, and I have been healed. And whatever work I did there, the research paper came out to be one of the best papers. So I still hold this experience, and for me, he is always relevant. When I was in Rome, our shippies would come to Rome, and they would contact me and ask me, take us to the place where the arm of St. Francis Xavier rests. And I would take them to the Chiesa di Gesù, because they normally feel that the arm is placed in the Vatican, in St. Peter's Basilica, but it is placed in the church of the Jesuits called Chiesa di Gesù. And with all vigor and pride, I would take them, they would remain there, and they would boast and tell their relatives, you have seen the body, we have seen the complete St. Francis Xavier, also with the arm. That means we have seen the complete body of St. Francis Xavier. Our Goans, wherever they go, they are proud of St. Francis Xavier. Even our younger generation, they are so proud, they feel that a saint is walking with them wherever they are. Even though abroad, they are working on the ship, they say, we come to the Basilica, we say a prayer, and then we enter the ship, because we know that St. Francis Xavier protects us, he guides us, and he orients our life towards good. And that's why we are so happy to be associated with the saint of our Goa.
Father, how would you comment about, I mean, around the world, it is said that practicing Christians are decreasing in certain countries. But notwithstanding that fact, how would you rate the relevance of St. Francis Xavier among the faithful?
Okay, I was in Italy for several years, now for 5 years, and before 3 years. In Italy, people are still coming to the church. And with Pope Francis, many who had left the church are coming back. Because in the confessional, when I was sitting, the first thing they said, I've come after long years because this Pope attracts me, and that's why we have come again to the church. In the States, I've been there in the States people are frequenting the church. But they say in Spain and France, the number has been reduced of the faithful. But now, St. Francis Xavier is not famous in Italy, he is famous in Spain, because in Italy, their favorite saint is St. Francis of Assisi. You can't touch St. Francis of Assisi. If you propose to them St. Francis Xavier, they say he's a Spanish saint, he's a Spaniard, we have our own saint. So St. Francis Xavier is very famous in Spain and in the States also, because wherever Goan has reached, you know, St. Francis, they have carried everywhere. But for me, the question is today, what is important is people are still coming to the church because some of these saints have left an indelible mark on their faith.
Father, thank you. And before you go, a few thoughts on Reverend Father Joseph, our own Goan saint who's being canonized just a few months away.
Okay. Saint Joseph Vaz, we can call him now even Saint Joseph Vaz. For me, he's a saint after 100 years of Christianity. That is very important in our life, because now we have completed 500 years, but he was a saint. 100 years of Christianity, our Church of Goa has given a saint to the world.
Thank you very much for being on DD India. Father Sukkor Mendes from the Goa Catholic Church. Thank you.
The pilgrim journey of the people continues. Everyone is waiting with great expectation for the moment to arrive when the sacred relics of St. Francis will be brought from the church right into the pandal. We can see now the church where the body of Francis is there. It is going to be brought out, and people are waiting to receive their saint. This journey, this pilgrimage, this walk.
All right, as we told you earlier, people from around the world, around the country, coming to witness the exposition of the sacred relics of one of the greatest saints that the world has seen. And he is none other than Saint Francis Xavier, the Spanish saint who lived in Goa for more than 10 years and made such an indelible mark on the faithful around the country and around the world. So he has so many faithful that from wherever you are, almost every country, someone or the other lends up to see or witness the exposition which happens once in 10 years. I got with me Jane from Norfolk in England. So how are you rating this experience of attending the exposition of St. Francis Xavier?
It's amazing, absolutely amazing. I've been to Goa once before and I've never seen so many people here. Incredible amount of people, lots of cars, traffic, people everywhere from all walks of life, all cultures, all around the world.
We are having this live telecast on our national broadcaster DD India. So I would like to hear from you, what made you decide to come to Goa and especially time it with the exposition of this great saint?
We are, myself and a colleague, are nurses, and we have come from the UK to do some work in a town nearby, city nearby in Belgaum, and we've come to Goa today to see the exposition.
You being a nurse, I mean, you are surely witnessing firsthand the experience of people who may be sometimes sick, who may be terminally ill. With an eye on the question of faith, how would you tell us about many of people who you have seen as a nurse? Does faith and medicine go together, or are they separate paths?
Often people, when they're really poorly, when they're really terminally ill, come back to faith if they haven't had it before, or they renew their faith because they are scared and frightened of what may happen to them. And we have in the hospitals in the UK many chaplains from different faiths that come to be with people when they're dying or when they're sick.
All right, and away from the spiritual side, what else are you looking at Goa for?
We're going to stay in a resort for the weekend, and then we go back to Belgaum to do more work next week in the local rural health centres.
Okay, and which part of the year do you like to come to India or Goa in particular? Surely November, December, January, or are you ready to come anytime?
Anytime, anytime, anytime. I'm coming back in April and again next year.
So let's say thank you to Jane from England. She's a Goa lover, she's an India lover, and hope we meet her many more times in our country. Thank you so much
continues.
for being on DD India.
People in great expectation are waiting for the arrival of the saint. The Mass is about to end, and as the Mass ends, the sacred relics of Saint Francis will be brought, and we will take this sacred relics to Say Cathedral. This is a walk of faith. We Goans, other Indians and people from across the world will walk with our saint. Walking with the saint is a very, very important, intense moment of this celebration. We will like to go the path that he walked. Finding his footsteps will make us find the footsteps of Jesus. And that's how we trace our path. Everyone humbly would like to walk this path. This walk is not a triumphant walk. It is a humble walk. It is a walk of faith. It is a walk that takes us to Jesus. As we walk with Saint Francis, it will be a special experience. It will touch all of us. His sacred relics will be there, walking with us. This walk is a holy walk, and people are waiting with great expectations to walk. Many have even already began the walk. They are anticipating, and they are in a line trying to reach first to meet their saint. Everybody would like to have his own personal moment. a moment in profound closeness to the relics. And people are willing to wait for hours in a line where everyone gets his time. As we are getting ready for this most special walk, it is time for us to look back and find how this expositions evolved. The first was a spontaneous one. The first exposition, when his body was brought in 1554, great excitement and great leap of faith happened in Goa. All people from different parts of Goa as well as India assembled and gave their deep respect and homage to Saint Francis. The first exposition continued every year for 2 days for about 150 years, till the suppression of Jesuits beginning in Goa and then across the world.
We also thank the three additional commissioners, Mr. Marvin Gomes, Mr. Sunil Tubnikar, Mr. Ellen Shah.
Well, as you can see behind me, the crowds are standing in queues, waiting for the moment when the sacred relics of St. Francis Xavier will pass by from this very side. Lots of devotees, lots of crowd. Today is just day one of this 44-day long exposition, which is beginning today and winding up only next year on the 4th of Jan 2015. But today I found someone among the crowd who is a follower of St. Francis Xavier. Let me welcome Reena to the show. She's all the way from Tamil Nadu, Coimbatore. Reena, welcome to DD India.
Thank you, ma'am. Hi.
Is this your first time here in Goa?
Yeah, we are here from Coimbatore, and this is our first experience to Goa here. And I have come with my family along with 20 persons from Coimbatore.
So how did you all make it here?
And we are excited here.
Okay, okay.
Very much interested in going to seeing St. Francis Xavier here.
Okay, and do you have novenas which happen every, do you have a feast or a church that is dedicated to St. Francis?
Yeah, we have a church in South India, and we are very much interested in going to St. Francis Xavier's church. And we also go for the novenas for each and every month. We used to dedicate him.
So how many days are you in Goa now?
For the past 3 days we are here, and we are here on this day for this opening mass and for the relics of the St. Francis Xavier's opening.
And what's the plan of action since you're in Goa, other than the spiritual side?
Yeah, we have yesterday we went to North Goa for all the Kalangat beach and the Takwada fort and all. We all went yesterday, and we planned for coming tomorrow only here. But for this opening mass, so we postponed all our programs tomorrow, and we have came here for this church.
Excellent. And do you find Goa to be a place that is very close to Tamil Nadu?
It's a very friendly nature, and we are very close. No, there is no difference between our country and here. We are very most friendly here, so it's lovable.
All right, so as you can see, this is Reena all the way from Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu, who is here, one of our local pilgrims who've come in all the way with her family members. In fact, 20 of them are here. And an expected crowd of at least 50 lakh are supposed to be expected to be here. And well, as time goes by, we just have to wait and see what's going to happen in the next 44 days.
Counter these false claims, an exposition was authorized. The first exposition, February 10th to 12th in 1782. The second exposition was on December 3rd, 1859 to January 8th, 1860. It was permitted by the King of Portugal. It is said that thousands of Indians, both Christians and Hindus, arrived into Goa to pay their respect to St. Francis Xavier. The third exposition was on December 3rd, 1878 to January 6th, 1879. This is said to be the first grand exposition for nearly 300 pilgrims from all over India attended it. Fourth exposition was on December 3rd, 1890 to 1st Jan 1891. The fifth exposition was on December 7th to 10th December 1900. This was a special exposition for the Eucharistic Congress that took place in Goa. The sixth exposition was on November 26th to December 28th, 1910. It celebrated the 4th centenary of the request that Afonso de Albuquerque received to invade Goa. The 7th exposition was on 3rd December 1922 to January 1923. 3rd centenary of the canonization of Saint Francis Xavier was a special feature of this event. 8th exposition was on 3rd December 1931 to 10th January 1932. 5th Eucharist Congress on the Eucharist was held in Old Goa. 9th exposition was on May 6th to 17th, 1942. Dates were chosen to celebrate the 4th centenary of the arrival of Saint Francis Xavier in Goa. The 10th exposition was on December 3rd, 1952 to January 6th, 1953. 11th exposition was on December 13th to 31st December 1961. It was hastily ended on 18th December. The 12th exposition was on November 25th, 1964 to January 5th, 1965. It was special exposition for the Eucharistic Congress that was held in Mumbai. 13th exposition was on November 23rd, 1974 to January 3rd, 1975. The theme of the exposition was Love One Another as I Have Loved You. Center for the Goa Special Children was started by the Caritas. 14th exposition was on November 21st, 1984 to January 1995. The theme was Give Jesus to the World. 15th exposition was on November 21st, 1994 to January 5th, 1995. The theme was Commitment to Building Family and Society. Exposition attracted 2 million pilgrims and visitors. 16th exposition, November 21st, 2004 to January 2nd, 2005. And this
आणि पोतू आणि पवित्र आत्मा तुमचे आशीर्वाद घालू वचोळ्यात ख्रिस्ताचे शांतीन तो काम धाडटा आम्ही शेवटाचे गायन घेऊया San Francis Xavier.